Desire Lacap lives a great life.
Good morning.
Has a great job in a beautiful town.
Desire.
All within a perfect world. She's never wondered why.
Enjoying the day.
Until now.
Oh my God.
She's seen 1,000 sunrises. But has she ever saw one fall? Little does she know, we've been watching her carefully. But the time has come, she's starting to discover the cracks in our world. Every door in this world leads somewhere she's not supposed to know. And now, it's over.
Okay, when I was putting this idea together, it was almost like, what do? I don't want to cross that line. I want to stay true to myself. How could I implement this? And I started thinking, oh, well, it's a tool. So there's some things I needed to solve as I plan the final video of this, right? If I put AI in the final video, how do I keep it to where people stay connected to the video? Because the second someone senses AI, like myself, the authenticity and reality disconnects us. Lay it out here. It's an iffy topic nowadays, especially with artists. But if we stay true to ourselves, right, there are a few ways to understand and ensure that we keep it authentic to our own creative craft and use it as a tool to help elevate our ideas. So I asked myself, what actually makes a shot feel expensive, right? And why is most of it psychological and not technical? And to be honest, I've talked about this before, it is the layers of post-production. You know what I'm saying? The way we composite, the way we frame it, the way we shoot it, the music that goes under it, the sound design, the sound effects, and then color grading, that makes the audience feel something psychologically without them even knowing it. So when I seamlessly blend my prompt with my practical footage, and then adding the layers on top of that, that really helps sell the feeling. It's my mind, it's my heart, it's my vision, it's my ideas, and I'm simply having AI fill in the gaps for me. And oftentimes as a filmmaker, the biggest roadblock could be budget, right? And it stops a lot of filmmakers from even pursuing the idea or the vision of the story that they have in their heads. But honestly, the only limits that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves. Our ideas could be big, but not big enough to achieve. So that's why I take matters into my own hands and not let those limitations stop me from pursuing what I see in my head. I'm gonna make it happen, Captain. Let me tell you that much. And if there's one thing about me, I'm gonna use my tools and the resources available to us to be able to craft and bring the ideas and visions that we see in our heads to life. Now, speaking of tools, I'm using Envato. It's an all-in-one creative asset toolkit that gives us access to the world's broadest stock catalog, as well as AI built right in that helps us streamline our creative workflow by getting every asset we need in one place. Okay, the story is Desiree meets Truman Show theme. Basically, she starts to discover that the world she lives in is all a set and everything and everyone is part of it. A few steps that go into pre-production is script breakdown, rough storyboard, shot list, and of course, music scoring and boarding. Doing a music board helps give you a better idea of what the final outcome of the video is going to be. I initially was going to just edit it like a short film, but I found this track right here, and now I want to edit it like a trailer rather than that. So Envato has so many options, and you can search it up from your mood right here, the theme, the length, the tempo, the instrument, vocals, decade, properties, you name it. Okay, it's all there. So it helps me narrow it down when I'm filtering it out like this. The purpose of pre-planning is to ensure that I do not waste any daylight and I maximize my time having fun, experimenting with accidental angles, and just capturing everything I need to. Earlier this week, I pre-vizzed some things back home and I did some test shots to ensure all my plans worked. Okay, now that we have our score in mind, pre-visualization is important, especially if we're blending our practical shots with our prompted shots. What is pre-viz or pre-visualization? Well, basically it's like a rough blueprint, right? It's the process of visually planning complex scenes. And because I need to be confident in what I'm planning will work out, I'm gonna test the following. Changing the background, like I wanna remove that car out of my frame. It just drove away. That's great. Expanding camera movements with a start and end frame and having Envato fill in the gap for me, especially because I'm filming this by myself. I'm gonna grab 2 static shots and then see what it could do when it does the whoop-de-wop. Oh. Another tip is to make sure long lens works better with this so it looks less cheesy because it compresses it more. So I'm at a 30mm. Whoa. I'm just gonna go right there, kind of fix the lighting, and then fix my positioning. Okay, we'll see if this works. Hey, we back at the stew. So what I do want to test out is a few things, not all of it primarily, but I have this shot right here. So all I really need is my first and my second. Okay, now we're gonna go into Envato elements and then insert my end frame. Create a jib-like camera movement from frame 1 to frame. But what will actually help with this, you see a little bit of warping. We see that it worked, right? Because this is all I have right here. So I would probably screenshot this. We'll see what that does. But this is probably the biggest thing. Okay, it is definitely tweaks. I do want to. We're gonna have to play with it some more. But this is why we previs. That way I know what works, what doesn't work, and what I really need to tweak to really make it work. Okay.
Come on, you don't stop, you don't stop.
Okay, I'm shooting the very first shot, which is me getting to the airport. So the first shot, you would think I'm at the airport, but wait, I actually need a bird. Wait, I need you to come back. That was like the timing. Wait, because I literally am gonna composite a bird in the frame using Envato. That's wild. We're at a mall right now because the airports would be really busy. So what I'm actually planning to do here is just use this part right here, the leading lines, and then we're gonna have Envato. I'm gonna prompt it with my reference images to create this to make it look like SFO. These are the things that you do sometimes because we don't have access to that. We're gonna get kicked out the moment we step on the airport. And I'm just gonna walk all the way in the middle because I'm using this pathway to lead me into the quote airport doors. Okay, because I had filmed at the mall, I just wanna make sure I'm getting some shots at the actual airport. Shit, I'm just now thinking about how much the intro stuff won't really work. I have to avoid the background at all costs. My mind is kind of all over the place now because I actually want to scrap almost everything that I did at the other one and only use the wide shots and then do everything else here at the airport because it's not as busy as I thought it was gonna be. So I think I should be good to get away with redoing the shots, and I think the lighting feels way more better right now. I'm walking, so first I have to figure out my action, whether I'm walking, sitting, about to sit down, whatever it is, and then I have to count myself down in my head and go 3, 2, 1 and react, because that's gonna determine the timing of that. Oh my God! Oh my God! What? I have an idea. So I'm just standing here, right? And then we kind of see it very subtle in the background, and I don't even notice it until it falls. So this is the angle, but the way it's gonna fall is like right here, like right over me, and it lands in front of me. So that's kind of what it is, because I need to composite that right here in that area. Alrighty, let's get it. Oh my God. Okay, here's the sequence logic. I, as a filmmaker, storyteller, creator, the human with a soul, is building a container and filling it with something that can be real because I put it there. The cut placement is the whole trick here. All right, you're looking for moments of visual busyness or motion where the eye has no anchor point to catch the scene. It's a 3-frame principle. So we'll talk about this a little more later, but you need 3 frames to cover, enough that the brain registers the motion. Now that we understand the formula, let's walk through some AI tricks you may or may not have caught in the video. Let's do this. But first, I'm gonna change. We're back. Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Truman Show reference. Anyways, let's walk through some of the tricks that you may or may not have caught in the beginning of this video. Trick number 1, adding camera movement or motion. Listen, we all know the struggle, okay? I film solo, dolo, lonely, 90% of the time, just me, my camera, and my tripod in a location. And sometimes I wanna elevate those shots. So this is where this comes in. So for this, you're gonna need 2 separate shots to film. In this case, like we captured earlier, we're taking 2 of our shots. 1 high angle for our first shot and 1 low tilted up angle for our second shot. And to be honest, it'll work best when there's no face showing for this because it tends to change it a bit and have no expression. So with our 2 shots, we're gonna drag both into Premiere on the timeline, go to the end of our first frame and go 3 frames back and screenshot there. Then go to the beginning of your second frame and go 3 frames forward and screenshot there. Now in Envato, we're gonna use Video Gen to create the camera movement. So insert your start frame and your end frame. Then we're gonna type in what we want the gap to be. This is the gap that it's filling in right here, okay? Because this is my shot, this is my shot, and I want it to create that camera movement in between. After we get a good one, we're gonna bring it back into Premiere, and that's gonna connect the dots because that's the in-between from the first and the second frame. And remember the 3 frames? Yes, we can blend it on either side by dragging cross dissolve and placing it in between our clips. Now for the second trick, okay, we've done it before plenty of times before all of this blew up. Like I was always doing this, is background replacement, but we're just gonna enhance it a little bit. We know that I couldn't film at the airport, and you saw earlier in this video that I had to film at a mall. I finessed it. I saw it and I was like, oh, I could make this work. I had to ensure that I had an angle that would properly set me up for success in doing this. So as we saw earlier, I captured this establishing shot knowing that this leading line and the door would help easily mask it as long as I didn't cross it. So I did have to fly out of SFO that evening, so I popped in the international part and I took some photos of what it actually looks like. That way I could use it in Envato to reference what I want the mall to look like. Now we went into Envato's image gen. We input the image references and told it to create the environment to be like the airport, which is the images we took. Then go to video gen and make the image a moving clip rather than a static one. What I mean by that is, although I am walking in the frame, I did want the background to have subtle movement like the cars or objects back there. After I get a good clip of that, I'll bring it back into Premiere and I'll mask my video part out and insert that clip, and there we have it. Listen, I love clouds, okay? I love it. I'll go ahead and take this screenshot right here. I'll bring it into Envato Elements and use the image gen. First create the clouds in the frame. I have my image now. Then I'm gonna go ahead and generate video and describe what I want it to do. Bring it back into Premiere, mask myself out and match the color grade here because it just kind of looks like I have to lift up the shadows to match it. Now you go from this to this. Next is people in the background. It's so subtle but can subconsciously lead the viewer to the main object or subject in the frame. So for example, this light right here, when I had prompted it, I wanted to create someone in the background to react to the light falling. I grabbed my screenshot here and then I brought it into image gen, prompted it to add lady in the background with the blue nurse outfit walking. From there, I generated the video and I prompted it. And once we had what we wanted, we brought that back into Premiere and layered it with so many things along with this object. Speaking of prompted object, that is our next trick. This is where my imagination went wild. And I actually did question if it was gonna work or not, but y'all know me. It's gonna work regardless, and I'm gonna make it happen, Captain. This is one of the things that didn't work for me. There was this concept I had that this bird was one of those surveillance ones, and then the battery died and fell in the foreground while I was walking in the background, but I definitely wasn't getting good results. So I had to pivot. I had to pivot the story, I had to pivot the edit. And that's what we do, we pivot, don't panic. And the number one thing I don't want is for things to look unrealistic in the frame. Now the light falling, that one was a fun one. Okay, this was a huge piece that needed to work in this little short trailer. So here are all my clean plates right here because I knew that I needed to composite a light frame there. And the object was an RE light. So I Googled that and I screenshotted it along with the frames that I needed so it knew exactly what to create. I brought it into Envato's image gen once again and I uploaded the references and described what I wanted it to do. From there, I took this image back into Premiere and I masked myself out and layered the light over and under my layer to get this shot. Okay, now for this shot right here where the light was falling, This one was a tough one. Let me tell you. I grabbed a plate and this is how I imagined it. I wanted 2 shots. One of the light falling and then the second one of the light crashing. So I grabbed my clean plates. For this one, I got pretty specific in terms of camera movement. I did want a slight rotation and I actually loved how this one came out. It's also cool because I get to add audio with it. And you could also apply presets in any of these videos when you create it, right? Like a dolly right, handheld camera, holographic, slow motion, dolly left. And these are really convenient to have, but I just prompted it myself in my own words and it did pretty well with the little rotation of this light falling. Now that we know some tips and tricks, let's talk about post-production. This is where we put it together seamlessly, okay? And why it works is because you have the layers of post-production. You have the way you composite it, frame it, sound design, sound effects, color grading, music. It all carries and plays a role in making the audience feel something subconsciously. Now, real talk, all in all, I put my hard work into concepting. Like I had mentioned in the beginning of this video, it's an iffy topic. I'm not gonna lie, like, yes, but I pre-visualized and tested many versions of what worked, what wouldn't work. I called the shots, I shot the shots, I edited it, and all AI did was do what I asked. I am the boss here, okay? That is a tool that I'm using to help elevate my creativity. That is my assistant. That is my just kidding. And where I personally draw the line is you use it solely to craft your art. And none of it comes from here. If you use it to steal someone else's work or allow it to completely make your decisions, then I refuse to back you up. Everybody is also entitled to their own opinions and creativity and XYZ. These are just mine. Take it or leave it, okay? It's the why and how we're using the tool. It's the experimentation of all of it. And maybe most filmmakers fail at this, not because of their tools, but because they film for the AI instead of filming around it and for yourself through your creativity. Philosophical pivot, the focus isn't with the seamlessness, it's with the invisible edit. Like, believability lives in what the audience never notices. Like the negative space between the cuts or the emotional logic of the sequence, the world building that makes one location feel like a journey. If there's anything to take away from this video, is that your idea is never too big to achieve, that the only limits that you have are the ones that you put on yourself, and to use the tools and the resources available to you to help bring those big visions and dreams to life. I hope you took something away. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but I hope you guys are doing good and great. Remember, keep being great, go out and create, and have fun doing it. I'll see y'all at the next video. Peace.